So we've dug a hole about 10 inches deep, put some loose soil in at the bottom, and we're getting ready to take this out of the pot and put it in there. Very dense clay soil, and it's like putting in a clay pot if you don't dig the hole bigger than the root ball. And it doesn't look particularly root bound, does it? Well, maybe a little bit at the
Got
bottom.
a little bit. I'm going to do something about that. Oh, I can
Is that
use
part of the trellis?
it. It might
No.
have. Oh yeah, it rotted right off. Or
Yeah.
it broke.
It's okay.
We're going to loosen this up. You got to loosen. Otherwise, it just stays root bound.
You know, I've pulled coleus out of the ground at the end of the season. Those coleus, they get 3 feet tall, and the roots came out root and all when I pulled the plants out,
Yeah.
and the roots were still the same configuration for the most part as they were when they were planted. You know, little 2.5, 3-inch pots.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Uh-huh.
And that's the first time I understood perhaps there was some value in breaking up the root
Yeah.
a little bit to, encourage it instead of going around and around like it's accustomed doing in the pot, that it might actually reach out a little bit.
Yeah.
So do a little bit of this and stimulate some new growth.
Yeah.
You can pull some of that off if you want. I don't think it's going to hurt it.
Well, I try to shake it loose
Okay.
and get it out and going someplace besides pot shape.
Yeah. Yeah, you made the hole nice and big, and you added some soft soil to the bottom of the pot
I put grass down there too.
and grass.
What that does is the worms are going to get in there,
Yes.
and they are loving that because that's their green.
Ah.
And you get your microorganisms going with grass clippings and greenery.
Because
And
I noticed you use them a lot in the vegetable garden.
oh my, yes. Those lilacs that are in the back of the yard start off as little 1 or 2 foot whips.
Yes.
They're 12 foot tall now.
Let me scan that for everybody.
I feed them at least once a year. At the end of the year, I make sure the grass clippings go at their base.
Oh, isn't that spectacular?
There were 12 little whips 12 years ago.
Oh, and they go across the whole backyard.
Yeah, clear over to the leaks.
So sometime you need to send me a picture of this.
Yeah, when it's blooming.
Yes.
It went through my head to do that, and then time got away from me, and I didn't do it. You got to act on your thoughts.
Well, when it comes into your awareness, it's probably the best when you're really supposed to be doing it.
Uh-huh.
Think of it as God speaking to you.
Yep.
That
Well,
still
I
small
did that
voice.
on buying that car. I had sense enough to listen
Yes, you did.
because I was praying about it, and lo and behold, got a good buy.
We
Thing
like
that
good deals.
Serviced us lots of years.
Well, that's a very aggressive freeing up the roots, but I think it's important.
Oh yeah, they won't go anywhere. I don't think I did that. Those hydrangeas. I think I was in a hurry in the fall to get them in because fall came early,
Yes.
and I said I gotta get these in the ground. Well, I think it was a little late. Yeah. See, now I want these guys out
Okay.
and I'm able to go out and venture and look for water. Just a stick of bamboo
Yeah, well, it's working.
is good enough. There we go. They are just jammed up backwards, just. And now to compensate, because you hear it crackling, the top is going to be hurting for enough roots to supply.
Yes.
So I will trim the top back,
Okay.
prune it so it can withstand what I did to it.
Doesn't have to support quite so much greenery.
Yeah. All right, so now we want to get those
Ooh.
to go out.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, wow.
I don't know if I like that. That's too high, see? My
Uh-oh.
hole's not deep enough.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
fun.
I'm gonna have to redig.
Okay.
Figure. We're not ready yet. That was a rough estimate, I guess.
Well, I might have misdirected you as well. I thought it was sitting further down in the pot than it actually is, or was.
Yeah, it's higher in the pot than we realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we had loose dirt. We just had to move it out of here. We already busted it up. There we go.
That ought to do it, don't you think?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that looks a lot better. What do you think?
Yes, now we're at ground level.
Okay.
And I got roots reaching out around the hole, going out. You know. Now we'll use this. Instead of that clay, got some really good potting soil in the trailer out front.
Okay.
I think I can get enough here.
Okay.
And that grass,
That'll help.
Old grass is good, it'll rot. And the worms will say, yummy, yummy. And I just realized I didn't put grass down below, so I better get some grass around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of similar to composting.
Mm-hmm.
Brown and green, brown and green. See, I've got the black soil has the worms in it.
Mm.
And you're watching your time on your video so you don't make it too long.
It's okay. I'm gonna call it to a halt here pretty soon. Well, I think this is fantastic. So even though it says it can grow 30 to 60 feet tall and a 30 feet spread, it's going to grow with this tree. And if something happens, you know you can just dig it up and move it to someplace else. Yeah. That's one thing I learned from Laura on Garden Answer is that if you don't like a plant, get rid of it and buy something, put something else there. Yeah. And if it needs to be moved to a place where it's going to be happier, we just do it. As long as we keep things fertilized and watered sufficiently, not overwatered, but watered.
Yeah.
They should do just fine. And we have about 2.5 months before our first frost date, so this plant should have plenty of time to settle in before the winter. What zone are you here, Mike?
4.
4.
See, the worms have sort of.
Oh, they're breaking up the soil. Look at that.
They're in that clay. When it dries out, they just sort of have to hang out in a little module like that.
Yeah, they go dormant, and then as soon as there's water, they come active again, I think. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
They're in the clay. They were there from the springtime.
So how cold do you get in the wintertime when you get really cold?
Really cold?
Minus
20 once in a great while.
Oh, jeez, I'll take this plant out.
Will it?
Yeah.
It's not won't go in. Well, we're sort of.
You're kind of protected.
We don't always get that. That was what knocked out this last winter. It went to that, and it knocked out the peach trees because we had warm weather. They didn't. They were almost out of dormancy, and the 20 degrees came.
That happened. They had a late frost in eastern Oregon, and they took out all of Laura's fruit trees too.
Oh.
We got down.
Well, they didn't take the tree out; it just took the blossoms.
Well, no, they took the blossoms. In western North Carolina, we had -2 for 2 days in a row at Christmas time, a year and a half ago, and it took out the bottlebrush bush, And I told the family, in terms of investment.
See all the holes where the worms worked their way in the springtime when the clay was so soft?
Oh, it's It's incredible,
that's,
isn't it?
you know, and then the roots follow, you know, your plant roots can get in there. That's why I love grass clippings, because they encourage it really encourages the worms and the other insects to get
and
in
they
there.
aerate the soil.
Yes.
They aerate the soil.
Oh, yes.
See, that's huge to
It
aerate.
is. It is the big one.
Now you got to remember your hibiscus is in that basket.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is this tube here, is this so you can water the roots of this tree?
That's what I did. When I plant a tree, I put that kind of a thing in, and then I'll just let my
CV
garden.
pipe or something? Yeah.
And I just take my garden hose and let it run there for a little while.
Oh, that's good.
Get
Deep water.
Watering.
Because the challenge with clay soil is it'll run off and not soak in.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the ways you've taken care of this tree that you just planted out here, what, in the last couple of years? Is
I put him in a year ago.
a year ago, is you built a
Last-
barrier here with some
The clay,
bricks, and then you keep all your
this clay has a moat.
okay,
That's not the right word. Moat's the wrong word.
little depression.
No, it's a dam.
Oh, you made a little
I'm on the
dam.
hillside,
Oh, the water runs
so
down.
the water will.
Yeah. And you keep putting your grass clippings here for a huge variety of reasons. Cool, and keep the soil moist and not dry out.
Encourage the microorganisms.
And the microorganisms, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I'm impressed.
They're not.
I don't think I've seen anybody else do this. Use your grass clippings in quite the same way.
Oh, they are so valuable.
Oh,
They are so valuable.
I think it's brilliant.
Now I'm taking this clay and making so when I water, I've made a bowl. That's the right word.
Okay,
I've made a lip
a lip, yeah,
so
around.
that my water can, puddle in here.
Because it runs down this hill
Yeah.
to this depression. So that's good. Okay. My brother does that too in certain places.
Uh-huh.
Well, you just have to, otherwise it just washes away everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you've done enough for one day,
Yeah.
Mike.
And
So
she hasn't called me, so
no,
we
she
must-
hasn't called. So at these tendrils can be encouraged to climb up the tree. So you can kind of manhandle this, I think.
Oh yeah, I've got my tomato. I have
So you know how to do that, right? You know how to just
plastic, ties,
uh-huh.
and use those ties
Good. Perfect.
to get your
Just to get it started, because it'll on its own will do it, you know.
yeah.
I tell you, I was stunned, and I'm still stunned by how long these branches are.
Yes.
I mean, that's like 3 feet long, and
Uh-huh.
all it needs is half a chance to climb, you know, and it will just wrap itself right around this
What
tree.
kind of nursery did you find this in?
Linda's nursery on Highway 64 in Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, I think what happened, because she had a huge selection of hydrangeas, every kind you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ones that have been trained into, tree form.
Yeah.
So I think she got a huge load.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they are growers, but I don't think she grew these hydrangeas. I think she got a huge shipment. I don't know that,
Uh-huh.
but I think that's what happened. I know that's what happens with nurseries.
Yeah.
And, I've been lusting after one for the longest time. The impatient gardener on the western side of Lake Michigan. You're on the southern side of Lake Michigan. She's on right off the lake, Lake Michigan. And so I think she's like a 5.
Yeah.
And
I'm awful close to a 5, but
and
The pizza's here.
oh, the pizza's here, so our supper's here. Well,
Okay.
this has been great. So I just want to say the impatient gardener has these growing up her trees in her yard,
oh,
these hydrangeas.
okay.
And they do just fine. So I am very hopeful about yours.
good.
Okay?
I mean, sometimes some places say I'm a 4, some say I'm a 5 in temperate zone.
Okay. All right. Well, this is good. Well, supper's ready. We're going to have pizza with
I
friends
put
and
this guy in
celebrate.
after supper.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
We appreciate. Thank you, Mike.